I know what you're going to say. I've spoiled it in the title. It's too big of a deal not to put it in the title. This is quite the groundbreaking discovery. Welcome, guys, to another episode of this F1 2019 Career Mode Championship. Let's bring you guys up to speed. I won the last race in the Russian Grand Prix. A very hard-fought victory over the Alphas. We recently became the best car as well in the last episode, and I feel like a particular driver has seen greener pastures. We've got a lot of upgrades on the way. We've got this ultimate brake upgrade coming in a few races' time. Lewis is struggling to beat Lucas Weber in terms of natural raw pace, so I feel like his best chance of winning the championship this season is by jumping ship to Ferrari. I was none the wiser heading into this round of Japan. I open up my email inbox, but before that I arrive in my trailer and I see this. Are you kidding me? My season rival has just turned up for work today and he is now my teammate. Unbelievable scenes. Lewis Hamilton has now joined Ferrari to partner me in a championship campaign to take down Alfa Romeo and Lucas Weber. I don't know if this is some kind of gimmick, some kind of conspiracy, get a spy on the inside to try and take me out from Alfa. I really don't know, but it was really odd how I had no inclination from Ferrari. I just turned up and hello, Lewis is now my teammate. So that is a very interesting dynamic, which has completely shook up I've lost for words. Just completely shook up the team and the whole aura. But in all of this, in the wake of that, Kimi Räikkönen has gone back to his starting team of Alfa Romeo Racing, and he will join Lucas Weber as his whipping boy number 2 driver. I really do feel sorry for Kimi. He is not going to get any kind of preferential treatment here. But what's interesting is we've got 2 championship contenders now in the one team. We could potentially be taking points off of each other. I don't know. It's going to be a weird one, but Ferrari now see it as they're doubling their chances of winning the driver's title. We're not in the running for the constructors, so that's going to be a bit awkward. It would be lovely if I could have Lewis's points from earlier on in the season contributing to Ferrari. Otherwise, we'd be golden.
Amazing performance out there. I'm sure you're pretty happy with that. Lucas was the fastest in that session. Were you expecting that?
I was fastest in FP2 if you rewind the footage 10 seconds ago.
Do you think you and your new teammate are going to work well together?
I don't know. This has got the recipe for disaster. We'll see.
You really put a lot of effort into practice today. Are you testing new components?
Yeah, testing new components and getting the setup right, I'd say.
Appreciate your time.
Welcome to the only figure of 8 track on the F1 calendar. We're here at Suzuka for qualifying today ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix.
So, yeah, with that bombshell out of the way, let's focus ahead on the weekend at hand. We're still in the fight for the championship. Not necessarily for the constructors, but now I've got to work together with Lewis to try and take down the might of Alfa Romeo and Lucas Weber. It will be very interesting to see how this dynamic unfolds. You would say surely that Hamilton as a driver is... Oh my god. Lewis has got P4 on mediums. Right, I'm losing this championship. I was going to say, you would say that Kimi would be less of a driver, say, in terms of raw pace than what Lewis is. Lewis is definitely going to be more up to my standard, you would say, but wow, we might well and truly have our hands full teaming up with Lewis Hamilton. Yeah, this is going to be interesting because, yeah, we could potentially take some points off of each other. Hopefully we can work together and come out with an outcome that is favorable for the team, but we'll see how the dynamic unfolds over the next 5 races remaining in this championship. But Q3 is underway and rain is hitting it straight away, so I was making sure that I was out there straight away to try and set a time. Fortunately not fast enough. Lucas Weber got out there first. And so too with one of the Red Bulls, I believe. So, we should hopefully get P3 in this qualifying session. Lucas Weber lays down the marker with a 1 minute 28.7. I think that's about 2 or 3 seconds off the pace, if I remember correctly, from practice and just earlier on in the weekend. But we come across the line, a bit of a shaky lap, I'm not going to lie, and it is a 1 minute 30.3, 1.5 seconds away from the time that Lucas managed. So, yeah, not a good time. Unfortunately for me, a lot of people who were behind me and got worse conditions were able to put in a better time, and Lewis in the end gets pole despite setting his time literally like a minute after Lucas Weber put his time in. So, wow, Lewis is an absolute monster. He is now starting to untap some of that potential. Okay. I'm not worried. This is fine. This is absolutely fine. We can still win this championship easy. Can we? I don't know. Oh, this is gonna be quite the race. P6 on the grid, Japanese Grand Prix. My teammate leading the way, Lucas Weber in P2. Hopefully Lewis can take some points away from Lucas.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
And a very warm welcome to the Japanese Grand Prix, an event that has decided a Drivers' Championship 11 times over the years and has hosted some very memorable races as well. And a warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's with me in the commentary box today discussing the new driver lineup. Let's start by talking about Kimi Räikkönen. They've just moved to Alfa Romeo. How do you think they'll get on?
Well, as a driver, whenever you move teams, you want to end up in a faster and more competitive car. So I think they'll be very pleased with their new home. On the other hand, moving to a larger, more successful team brings with it additional pressures and higher expectations. So we'll have to wait and see how well they cope with that.
5 races remaining and you've still got a chance of winning the World Drivers' title. Let's grab a solid points finish.
Thanks, Jeff. These next 5 races are very, very important for the context of our championship. This one, in particular, it's not got off to the best start. We need to build some momentum. You know, continue off on the light that we started off with last time out in Russia. And, yeah, just put the pressure back on Lucas, because we were starting to eke into his lead if he gets a win today. Ooh, that's not going to be good for our standings. So, race strategy is going to be a one-stop. Looks like it's going to be an easy one-stop as well, with the tyre wear, from the softs to the mediums, and we should be able to round out this race with quite an attacking, aggressive strategy. Last year, if I remember, the tyres held out really well. I think I might have gone on to hards, or I feel like I did the wrong strategy last season, realizing in hindsight that the tyre wear was nowhere near as bad as what I thought it would be, and so today we're not going to make that mistake. So here we go, lining up on P6 on the grid in this Japanese Grand Prix. Let's see if we can take the fight to our teammates and the Alfa Romeo Saubers. Away we go for this Japanese Grand Prix. It's actually P5. Someone has got a grid drop. We don't care about that anymore as we run now into turn 1. Side by side almost with Nico Hülkenberg. He shuts the door, squeezed up onto the curb. We've been spun out. Well, we spun ourselves out onto the curb. Let's get going again.
Okay, the safety car is out. The safety car is out. We need to form up at a reduced pace. Keep a close eye on that delta time. Make sure to keep it positive.
The safety car is here. Welcome to the party. Welcome to Formula 1, Bert Maylander. You have finally decided to turn up after a clumsy accident from me there, getting pinched on the inside with Nico Hülkenberg. 59 episodes, and we finally have a safety car. It is all cracking off in today's episode of Career Mode. This is absolutely insane. I think it might be more than 59 races, probably 60, 61, because we have done a couple of double up episodes where we've done 2 races in one. But yeah, finally, 60 odd races, and the safety car is here. Really timely as well, because we spun out, we lost a lot of track position. I still have my front wing, that's all fine. I'm actually going to turn this negative into a positive for us and go onto the medium tyres.
Release.
I think we had a 5-second penalty, which we just served, which I didn't know about. So yeah, we've served that, which is nice. We don't have to worry about that now for the rest of the race. And we're on the mediums. So my thinking here is we could probably take these mediums to the end of the race. By the time we get going on lap 3 or 4, you know, you're not too far away from the pit window of going onto the mediums anyway, and it's a very low tire edge well, it's proven to be on the game a low tire edge circuit. It's not really the case in real life, but in the game with our tire wear upgrades, I feel like we could probably make it to the end on mediums. If not, we can pit for softs and be on the same strategy as everyone else and finish off with the fastest lap attempt. Who knows? But yeah, safety car is here. And who knows, this could maybe wake up the game into thinking that the safety car is readily available, and we might see it 3, 4, 5 times a race like some people in the comments have been claiming. So we'll just wait and see on that one. But if another safety car does come out, that could really help me out later on in the race. Already losing my words. It has been a big day already. My NRL team has gone to the grand final for the first time in 25 years today. And all this is cracking off in the background as well. It has been a day to remember for Tiametmarduk, that is for sure. Away we go. The green flag running. Lap 4 into this Japanese Grand Prix. We've got 23 to go, which sounds like a lot, but it will go very, very quickly in these short 50% races. Can we go to the inside on Albon? I was just planning to get Kevin Magnussen, if I'm honest, but we managed to get him as well. Toro Rosso was very, very slow at this stage of the career mode, and we make the most of that. Danny Kvyat is up next. Can we get him? Hold our breath as we go through 130R in very close proximity to the torpedo. We survive the onslaught of the weapon of mass destruction.
Okay, we're low on fuel. Try shifting up the gears a little sooner. This should help us save some fuel.
We move our way into P17. A very untimely message from Jeff there. Look at everyone running side by side as we come into turn 1. I was expecting a crash there, I'm not going to lie. In the past, the AI really do struggle to run side by side into turn 1 at Suzuka. But thankfully, they have literally all managed to negotiate that cleanly. Up the inside of Raikkonen, who has a grid penalty for this race. He was the one who got dislodged, unfortunately. So Raikkonen not faring well. He had a grid drop this race. He had a grid drop last race. And yeah, we dive up the inside of Max Verstappen. Nice little lunge there. So Kimi took a grid drop last race in Russia. It's just no fault of his own. Lewis Hamilton wore out all of his components.
DRS has been enabled.
Shut up, Jeff. I don't care about DRS. And yeah, Lewis wore out all of his engine components, and then Kimi had to take the pain for it in this race. That is very, very unlucky on his part.
Okay,
But anyway, we're running in P15 at the moment, trying to just get through all of these soft compound tyre runners. They do have the tyre advantage on us, but they don't seem to have the pace advantage, such as the might of the Ferrari. We are really flying through this field now, up the inside of another car. That's George Russell being displaced for P14. And now we can set our sights after the fringe runners inside the top 10. I think someone up here has got some damage because they're just going at a pace that is just unsustainable. I think it's Carlos Sainz. He's losing a lot of ground to the racing point in just a few seconds up the road. Ricciardo goes for a move up the inside. I might go for a move on Bottas and possibly go inside of Sainz. Yes, we do. We've cleared him. Let's go for a dive on Ricciardo because why not? Up the inside. And that is P11 in this Japanese Grand Prix. 3 positions in basically one straight. Don't mind if I do. Here's the replay. From above, you can see the dive to the inside for Ricciardo. We probably wouldn't be happy with that.
What a bloke.
I don't know why he's that upset about it. Because he does those just about every day of the week. But we're through the P11. Next up is some points. And Lance Stroll is the gatekeeper of the top 10. Let's see if we can displace him and get inside there, run amok with the AI and see what we can manage in this race. We've got a yellow flag up ahead. It's one of the Haas's. It's Sebastian Vettel. It looks like he's collided with my teammate Lewis Hamilton on the run into turn 1, and this is evidence of how the AI just simply cannot cooperate through turn 1. It just never works out. They just kind of drive into the same line and it never quite ends well. Sebastian has lost a bit of his front wing, which is unfortunate for him. It might force him onto an early pit stop here for mediums to run out to the end of this Grand Prix Yeah, that is very handy for our race. That's going to give us another position, possibly in this Grand Prix. Either he'll slow up massively and stay out on his damaged front wing, or he'll pit early and give us track position over him. But yeah, this is all about recovery now into the top 3 if I can. I've got to be as close as I can to Lucas Weber, to Lewis Hamilton in this race. I've got to keep them within arm's reach, basically within 20 seconds if I want to keep track position over those guys after they make their pit stop. But it's very, very difficult because I'm having to contest with traffic, having to battle, get held up a little bit here and there, and also save a little bit of fuel. Whereas these guys are out front, setting the pace and, you know, running uninterrupted in their race program. But anyway, one of the Williams was in, I believe that was Charles Leclerc. He is in the lane, and this will be a good reference to see where we emerge up against the leaders. We jump in by about 5 seconds, so I feel like we might be right in the game here to possibly jump our teammate and Lucas Weber. Though Weber, it might be very, very close because his pace, I've been tracking him, he's running along very, very well. Team radio.
We're trailing our teammate by 17.7 seconds. They're on old mediums.
Okay, enough about the team radio message. We have a virtual safety car. I'm not really sure why, but that was over just as quickly as it arrived. But I believe that Alpha are going to be feeding some information to Lucas, telling him to up the pace because they'll want to keep him outside of, or they want to keep me outside of his pit window and give him a bit of clear air once he rejoins on the circuit. So here he goes, onto the start-finish straight. I am kind of nowhere to be seen, unfortunately. He jumps us by a few seconds, so a good few push laps there from Lucas Weber has allowed him to keep the effective lead of the Grand Prix. For my teammate, though, I feel like it won't be so much of an easy affair. I think he might actually rejoin behind me, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, the gap to Weber, 3 or 4 seconds, 2.4. We're putting in some personal bests, but it's not enough to keep up with Lucas, unfortunately. It looks like he might run away with this race unless Lewis has an answer at the back end of this Grand Prix. Remember, he started on mediums and he's finishing off this race on softs, so he's going to have an abundance of pace in the second half of this Grand Prix. You'd have to say he'd be a second or more faster than both myself and Lucas for the dying laps of this race. So I'm hoping that he can quickly close the gap to Lucas. I'm going to let him go through. I don't even care. I feel like he's probably going to beat me anyway in this race, but if I can just let him go through, cooperate, and allow him to catch up, then that should be our best chance of getting some points over Lucas. Because you never know around Japan. There's a lot of crashes here, especially at turn 1. If Lewis can go for a dive and they both crash, then it's GG. We get the win. So we'll wait and see. Tyre wear isn't too bad at this stage, 30-odd%, and we've been on these tyres for the best part of 17 laps. So these will easily make it to the end of this Grand Prix. They'll just be a little bit slow relative to those around us. Lewis goes through for P2, and pretty easy affair. We didn't make that.
We're close to our objective, just 1 place off. If we pick up another place, we'll be right on target.
We didn't make that too difficult for him, and yeah, we'll allow him to run away after Lucas. But yeah, the team reminding me after letting Lewis through that we need P2 in this race. Well, there's nothing much I can really do about it if I don't have the pace. Hopefully Lewis has something to say about that. But yeah, this stage, I think it's looking likely that we're going to get P3 in this Grand Prix. We've got the pace over Charles Leclerc on the.
Oh
No. Lewis is out. That was my chance. That was my chance of having an outside chance of winning this Grand Prix. I needed Lewis to catch up to Weber, disrupt his rhythm, maybe have a tangle, but the plan has not worked. Lewis Hamilton is out of the Japanese Grand Prix. What's going on with Hulkenberg? Hulkenberg is out of the Grand Prix too. He is beached inside the barrier there on the exit of turn 1. Some absolute weirdness going on. This is happening at the exact same time. And Sebastian Vettel still has his front wing damage from earlier on in the Grand Prix. He hasn't changed his front wing. What is going on with the front runners today? It is absolutely falling into the lap of Lucas Weber right at the time where we didn't need it.
Mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
That is really unfortunate. Weber is going to get 7 points over us in today's Grand Prix. I don't want to jump the gun, but this could be championship over, or looking like a very uphill battle on our hands in order to take him down in this championship. But we won't give up. We'll see if we can get fastest lap maybe. As we head on to the penultimate lap, we get some slipstream off of Alexander Albon. And this could be the bit of boost in momentum we need. We need every single point we can in this race, in this championship race. Or like, it could be the difference between winning and losing this championship. Last season, I think it was decided by like literally 1 or 2 points. So this could prove crucial. A push lap here with DRS, and we're 5/10 up as we go through the first sector split. I don't remember the time that Lewis Hamilton did, but I'm just going to push for everything we have on these old medium tyres, use up all of the fuel, absolutely all of the battery at our disposal, and we'll see if we can take that extra point against our name. We're not going to win this race, not unless there's absolute dramas for Lucas Weber up ahead, but we're going to see if we can get this fastest up nonetheless. It's been a phenomenal lap so far on old tyres. We come across the line.
This is your final lap of the race.
It's not enough.
Currently, the fastest lap is a 1:25.5.
So another 7/10 was needed to get the fastest lap. That is a bit of blind faith there, but it'll still be P2 in this race. We had a disaster start to the Grand Prix. We were backwards, last place. To come away with P2, I guess you've got to say, it's a remarkable recovery. Weber wins, but at the end of the day, we live to fight another race.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Congratulations to Alfa Romeo then, for their excellent win today. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection. There are so many factors to worry about once the race is neutralised. I mean, do you pit for fresh rubber? Do you have the space behind you? How much fuel can you save? If you answer all of those questions correctly, you'll have a good chance. And that's exactly what happened today.
Alfa Romeo have been winning fans the world over with their brilliant driving, showing that they're a force to be reckoned with out there on the track. They'll certainly be building on that fan base after today's excellent result.
Well done. Well done, Lucas. He's just too fast. So fast, so consistent. Whenever we make mistakes, yeah, it's curtains. For any chances of trying to win a Grand Prix, even though we have the fastest car in the field. We set wow, okay, so we actually did get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. It wasn't faster than Lewis's, but it was faster than everyone else's. Wow, that is incredible. Incredible longevity in the tyres. We put those mediums on lap 1, and we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on the penultimate lap. 33 points is the difference to Lucas Weber. Not a favourable result for us today. Yeah, it's not what you need. When there's only a handful of races to go in this race, in the championship, to see a loss of momentum like that can be quite crucial in the championship. Hamilton as well had his woes. The failure, absolutely heartbreaking for him. Even though he is a championship rival, I was, in the end, spurring him on to try and disrupt our German rival, but yeah, that is not what he wants. I think it might well be a 2-horse race now for the championship, and yeah, Ferrari might well give us the full backing of the team. 1,300 odd resource points to the tally. I'm sorry if I sound very downbeat at the moment. This championship does mean a lot, and I want to try and go back to back if I can in this career mode. Looking at the upgrades, let's just go for it. Let's just go for the extra performance. It's not going to give us anything in qualifying. It'll make us faster in the race by having a much lighter car relative to those teams around us. And so if we can give ourselves any kind of advantage to try and win this championship, we're going to do so. Even if it means, sacrificing next year's car. But but I feel like everyone's going to take a bit of a performance hit next season. We might be able to consolidate one more part. I feel like we can do the first weight reduction upgrade, so that will be safe when it comes to the regulation change next season. But we've still got, how many? Like, close to, 35 odd upgrades to consolidate in 5 weeks. That is a lot. But when we come to the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2 races' time, we will have a maxed out career mode car. And if we don't win with that, then there's no hope at Ferrari. We might have to change teams. But we'll wait and see. There's 4 races left in the season now. Mexico, USA, Brazil, and Abu Dhabi. I believe we've got the brake upgrade for USA, and then the fuel consumption upgrade for Brazil, and then I feel like this is going to go down to the last race in Abu Dhabi. Winner takes all, potentially. We need to win the next couple of races. We'll take it 1 race at a time, and yeah, we'll see how we go. Well, not only we've got to beat Lucas, who is an absolute alien, but we've got to beat Lewis now in the same car. That's going to be difficult. So having to manage that will be very, very interesting. I felt like last season's career mode was going to be the best ever, but it may be difficult to top this one if we can muster up something magical. We'll see. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And until the next race, the US Grand Prix, Mexican Grand Prix, I'll see you next time.